Hi, it's Mrs B
and Auntie.
Coffee time.
Oh, I don't have any coffee.
Well, get your water. Go,
Okay,
she's
I'll
gonna
go
go
just a
get her
minute.
water. She came down after my physical therapy today to, I think, just to visit, and I set this up so we could at least do a coffee time.
So we're doing coffee time. Okay. Look at this. Isn't this nice? This is a glass bottle with a neoprene body put on it. Uh, Mrs. B gave this to me and made this, and I use it all the time. And
Did you cut yours down?
no, it shrunk when I washed it
Oh,
one
you
time.
washed it? Oh, I need to wash mine. I haven't washed mine yet.
And like I have this drink mix in it from Element.
Element.
Yeah,
Element.
and it is it's mango habanero.
Oh, yeah, I still haven't ordered the flavor. I mean, I've tested them, but I haven't ordered a box of flavor.
Have you tried the?
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
I kind of like it because it starts out kind of like a nice little mango, and then it goes.
Well, I was afraid it was going to be hot. It wasn't hot. And
No,
it wasn't bad.
but it gives you kind of a kick.
I'm not crazy about mango, and she is. But I like the watermelon, and she doesn't.
Yeah. So we have.
That one got.
That would at least have a kick. I don't think I shook it up very good. It comes in a powder. You need to shake it up.
Go get my bottle. I can't get out of where I'm sitting, so I'm going to have her go get my bottle. I want to show you how much it shrunk. I'm so shocked. I don't know why I'm shocked. I wouldn't have thought neoprene would shrink, but it did. Look at the difference. This is the original. See how high it goes up on the bottle, and then she washed it, and it's so much farther down. Like, oh,
it was shy. I was like, I keep trying
did you wash it in the washing machine?
Yeah, I
Okay.
got it like really dirty.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Needed to get.
I never looked up how to wash neoprene.
I hope I shook it up good enough.
Let's see how to read. I make her spit it out.
That's so mean.
Hey, paybacks.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Hey, we got some really neat news.
Do tell.
Actually, you have the really neat news. You have a new grandson.
Oh.
Yeah, she didn't know where I was going with that.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
My youngest son and his wife are adopting a boy that is 8 months older than their youngest son.
Is he 11 or 12?
He's 12 already.
He's 12.
So they have Macy, Eli, and Aaron.
Isn't that neat? I think that is just so neat.
They'll make 4 grandsons and 3 granddaughters.
So you're just starting. Of course, you don't have far to go. I mean,
yeah, there's not a whole lot. Unless the grands start getting married, they're all getting kind of hooked up with people and
well,
getting
the oldest two.
Yeah, and engaged and things. And I don't know, that Macy, she's kind of serious.
Well, she's still pretty young, though.
She's very young.
A very good girl. So
Yeah.
I would be surprised if she had a child in the near future.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, like the family, with the spouses and everything are growing.
Yes. But as far as your grandchildren, you
Yes.
only have two that are, well, actually 3 adults now.
Mhm.
How old is Sierra?
18.
She's 18. So
Ah,
see? And then
yeah.
Macy's 15, 16.
16.
She did turn 16.
Hmm.
So-
She's driving. She can take care. She can take care of everything. I went over and was supposed to be taking care of those kids a month or so ago.
And she took care.
She was like a mama. She would wake us up, get us around for
She is
school.
the most responsible girl. She is such a
She
responsible
would take
girl.
things out of the refrigerator to defrost, which I'm glad she did because I forgot. Brenda knows. I'm
I
very
forget.
irresponsible.
I forget to set stuff out. If I don't set it out the night before, I will forget, or it has to be the first thing in the morning because I'll forget, and I'm forgetful about turning off my oven.
Oh, Terry's like, how come oven timer is always going off? And I said, I'm timing my laundry. He says, and why are you timing your laundry? I said, I get sick. I got sick of going in to wash something, and then I'd have a really old bunch of wet clothes.
You would forget.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. So I set my oven timer because I don't think I have a timer on my.
Hey, the new one?
Well, I can't hear it all the way over in
Well,
yonder.
that's a long ways.
It's like,
Do your phone. You don't keep your phone with you.
no.
Well, your oven timer works, so.
Yeah, and it's annoying. It keeps going, and then it'll stop, and then gong, and I'm like, what am I doing? I go in there and I look at it and I think, what am I doing this time? It's always something somewhere else.
Don't you love our conversation?
But I mean, it keeps me on task.
This is coffee time, so we can
Yes.
talk about whatever we
Yes.
want to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, my husband gets so aggravated at me because I forget to turn off my oven. And he would turn off the oven if I'm heating it up, warming it up. You left the oven on. No, I'm cooking. I'm getting ready to make. My God.
That is so funny.
I gotta show you. My daughter-in-law, I'm going to tell on her. She smokes, okay? And she lives in Missouri. Well, they have a deck, and she goes outside to smoke. Well, she has hanging plants. And let me find this. She has hanging plants. Well, she's been doing this for a long time, and she came in the house the other day and told my son, she says, oh, I messed up bad, messed up real bad. And he says, oh, I'm sure you didn't. What'd you do? She says, come here. She caught her deck on fire. I'm going to show y'all a picture. Look what she did. She burnt her deck. Thankfully, they were home and saw it. Well, she has hanging plants, and they got that moss bird's nest stuff at the bottom of the basket. Those wire baskets, and then it has potting soil on top of that.
The Spanish moss.
Okay. But she's been putting her cigarettes out in there. She's not been doing it for over a year. But she smelled something, and her husband, Casey, my son, thought, boy, it's foggy outside. And he came in and said, I messed up. Yeah, I'm sure you didn't. He runs out and shows him she had grabbed, I can't remember what she said she grabbed to put the fire out. But, I mean, it was a big fire. It started.
Some of the pickets.
Even
even the bottom rail.
Even the bottom. No, the floor.
Oh.
It even got the floor. So I'm like, she shouldn't be smoking anyway. However, we've got photos. I thought that was really interesting. She did that. They did repair it.
Oh, well, that's good.
They did go and they repaired it back. And then, this is the whole reason they called us the other day. Then she's using a power washer. Now, that was a couple of weeks ago. This was like night before last. But she was using the power washer and washing off her deck. And she started going down the steps. And somehow, she got the power washer on her foot. Let me see.
Oh.
Okay. Do this.
Ow.
Look, this is her heel.
That's her heel?
That is back by her heel. That's her ankle. And this is down by her heel. Water did that. She ended up having to get 3 stitches.
Oh, ouch.
So,
by your heel?
Well, let's see, there's her foot. See her foot?
Yeah. But can you imagine how that hurt? Oh.
Oh, yeah. She said it hurt. it hurt pretty good. At first, she was just gonna use super glue, and decided, no, I think it's a little worse than a super glue one. And then they gave her stitches. I'm sorry, I'm just crazy. I just thought that was
Well,
funny.
I got a telephone call from my brother, and he and his daughter had gone to.
You know who she's talking about, right?
They had gone to.
I'm talking to her niece,
Yes,
my cousin.
yes. Well, we'd gone to. They had gone to Colleyville.
Oh,
There's this big uh, movie complex thing. Where they have like 15 or so
yeah.
screens, and they went to see that human trafficking
Sounds of
movie,
freedom.
Sound of Freedom, in the upstairs part of it, and they, Jim was my brother was very excited about the movie. He thought it was a really good movie, and he said it was great. Then the movie was over, and they did not turn the house lights on. It was still pitch dark, and all they had was the whatever reflection from the screen. And they sat there a while. No lights came on, so they stood up, and somehow there was a step down, and his daughter fell into that.
Oh, that's
And
how she
and
felt.
then he fell on top of her, and he
Oh,
skinned his whole arm up. Uh, the skin all the way through to blood, all the way down his arm. But they couldn't get up because they couldn't see where they were. There happened to be a doctor watching the movie, and he came up to them to assist them, and the doctor hollered at one of the people that worked at the movies and said, "We need a light, and we need a, a wheelchair." My brother said, "You won't believe what they brought. They brought an office chair with wheels on it." And they had to try to get down or upstairs with it and all this stuff. Well, they're in pretty bad shape. I said, "Well, did you talk to the manager or any of that stuff?" And he said, "Well, it's just chaotic and all this stuff, and we were hurting and we were bleeding, and
I wish they'd said something.
yeah." So, but they did talk to this one manager girl, and she says, "I know exactly what happened to you, and we're very sorry and all that stuff." But he said, if they tried to bring a suit about it, that girl would probably just disappear.
To have the doctor
Go
witness,
somewhere.
though.
Yeah,
But
I
they
asked
probably
him
don't
if
know
he
his
knew
name.
the doctor, and he said no, he didn't
It's
get
just
the name.
sad.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous thing to do. I mean, there's a lot of people in there, and it's just
Yeah.
sad. But anyway,
It's amazing that they were the only ones that fell.
it is.
Well,
And
he's 80,
I
so any
know.
kind of falling is going to be tremendous. Now she is in her 50s.
50s. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think their kids were with them. So anyway,
That's awful.
yeah.
That's an awful fall.
So
Just don't like it. I'm not happy about that one.
so things can happen.
Yes.
Quickly. I was using the pressure washer washing my husband's pickup, and I got like a sticky leaf on my hand, and I went like that. That's so dumb. I'm used to using a garden hose, just doing it at home.
Well, I washed things off before like that, and she even has, but I guess she got too close.
Too close.
Just
Yeah.
too close or something, because there's it was water, and my son wanted to put I think it's methylate on it. And she, I don't need that. And he says, yes, you do. And she says, it was water. It's not got germs in it, but it could. It could have bacteria in it. You don't know. And so they get to the emergency room, and for some reason, this emergency room couldn't help him. They sent him to another emergency room, and
They have a specialized
I
emergency room.
guess she said the first emergency room said, "Oh, you don't need stitches. You can do super glue, but we can't do that. So you got to go to this other one." I don't know why. So they go to the other one, and she, no, you need stitches. And she went to clean it and keep do some put something on it. And she says, but it was cut with water. And she says it doesn't matter. It has micro
Bacteria
bacteria
type
and stuff in it,
Wow.
so you never know. But anyway,
That's
what else
crazy.
can we talk about?
Let's see. I don't know.
Gosh, all I've done lately is work.
Yes. How many things did you?
Oh, I don't have count. I don't have a count. I have one guy. Should I tell him about?
Yeah.
I have one client that works at a prison. He is a, what do you call him? Security officer. They don't like to be called guards, so he's an officer at a prison. And he he brought me his pants, and of course they're too long because he's not very tall. He has a real short inseam, but anyhow, they're new, so I had to hem them. And then he has to have a pepper spray on his pants, and then he has to have a radio on his pants. And he likes to wear suspenders and a belt. And
He
then
wants them attached to.
so he wanted me to make some to sew to his pants, so he wouldn't have to remember to grab to get them and take them with him. I would think that those would probably stay in a locker or something, but I don't know how it all works. So
Now, see, I would want to be called a guard so I could rake the bars and go, guard, guard. I wouldn't want to go, security officer, security officer. If I was a prisoner,
oh, I thought you.
you know how they rake their.
She wants to be the prisoner that does that. No, you don't. You don't want to be it
for one day.
No.
Okay.
I think you'd just sit in the corner and cry.
I probably would.
I would.
No, I'd probably go, guard, guard. I'm not supposed
I'm
to be here.
innocent.
I'm innocent, I tell ya. They said, no, we've seen those videos. We know you're not. These videos, not other videos.
Then he has some issues with chafing between his legs, so he wanted soft fabric sewn on the inseam of his pant legs. So he brought me some real soft.
Was that velvet?
No, it's a
Fleece.
It's kind of furry. Anyway, so I just thought that was interesting.
That's pretty interesting.
He was saying that he wanted the suspenders sewn on so they wouldn't keep falling off his shoulders. I said, you can tighten them. You can tighten them. And he says, I didn't even think of that. But I still want them sewn on. But anyway, that's just one of the interesting.
Yeah,
I get some interesting things sometimes.
Yeah, you do. You had to remake suits, take them apart and remake them.
Well,
Almost.
I just finished doing a bunch of men's suits and women's suits for this couple. Sweetest couple. I just love them to pieces. But yeah,
It's complicated.
well, it's one of the harder alterations to do is men's suits, the shoulders. And then I had to shorten them. One thing about it is when you take up the shoulders, you don't have to shorten the arms.
That's good.
Yeah, they needed it. The arms were too long as well because, my goodness, what it was is the man has lost a bunch of weight, and he had already bought these suits, and they cost quite a bit of money. Well, they cost quite a bit of money to alter also, but those were on the verge of not being able, because if you can't do more than two sizes,
Oh,
that's really stretching it.
that's the limit.
Pretty much, yeah, because it won't hang right, nothing will look right. So anyway, that's one thing.
I almost brought a dress for you to help me figure out how long
Well, you should have.
I forgot.
Oh,
I mean, I was going to, and I thought that'd be bad, and I thought, oh, I'm going to anyway, and then I forgot. But I ordered it, and it was too long. It's on the ground long, and I thought, well, if I just get a dress that is the length I like and hold it up to it, would that work?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Just measure how much
Okay.
shorter, but be sure and leave your hem
Uh-huh.
and cut it there.
Okay.
She sews.
Yeah.
You do just as good as I do.
No, I don't.
She just gets in a hurry. She does everything a million miles a minute. And when you're doing it for the public, you can't do that.
No, you
My
can't do
goodness,
that.
when I sew for myself, it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Just as quick as I can and
Mhm.
not as nice as I should.
See, my mama had a old sewing machine that only went fast. I mean, like serger fast. And so I took home ec, and for one semester, so 6 weeks was on sewing and 6 weeks was on cooking. And when it got to sewing, and I was in there, and they had it, regulated where you couldn't go very fast, but I had it at top speed, and I was going like that. The teacher came in and said, "Who is tearing up our sewing machine?" And I got in lots of trouble because all the other little girls were going, and I thought, that's crazy. I can hand sew faster than that.
I'm part of a alterations group on Facebook, and there was a post today that this lady was saying that it was so funny. She had someone come to her to alter a dress, but she brought her a needle and thread in case she needed it. I just thought that was so funny because it's her business.
Yeah, bring all the equipment. Bring a serger.
I just thought that was funny. Yeah, of course, it's somebody doesn't know, but still,
Yeah.
I always get tickled at the people that bring me something and say, "Oh, it just needs a little bit of this." I'm like, you have no idea
what that all involves.
You just got to take it up a little. Yeah, it's got 4 layers and
Linings
lining
and
boning.
oh, that one thing that was just going to be a hem, and it ended up being a hem and a lining hem and a
Yes, that skirt
hem.
just recently.
Yeah.
Yes. And
So
take it in on the
simple.
sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only going to be a hem.
Yeah, that's one reason you also have to see stuff before you can quote them, or even tell them if you can do it or not, because sometimes it can be something that you just either you just don't want to do it or you really can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, enough about my business. Quit getting in my business.
We want to do a reaction on a song that I don't know. I have never heard. It's Jason.
You haven't heard it yet?
I think I've heard some of the words, but not all of them. You can't do that in a small town,
something
like that.
In a small town.
We live in small towns. I mean, Mrs B lives in a bigger small town than me.
You don't live in the town.
I don't live in the town.
Try that in a small town.
Try that in a small town. We grew up in small and you grew up in large and small, but
the largest was Lubbock, and it was small compared to what it is now.
Else.
Well, it's probably half the size back then.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, maybe not, but
we almost got lost when we went to see Home Free.
Oh,
because it's bigger.
Well, I was a child.
You were a child, a mere baby.
First grade baby.
A mere baby, a first grader.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
We're not talking about that.
But anyway, we are going to do a reaction to that.
Yeah.
Um,
And I don't care what ethnicity you are or whatever. When you grow up in a small town and you know everybody and everything, it's just different. You People have a little bit more respect for each other because they know they're going to see them all the time. There's no what is it, anonymity,
oh,
where you're anonymous. I don't know how to say that word, but I mean, you'll my husband will go downtown to the lumberyard and he'll tell me about 5 people he saw that we've known forever, and every time he goes to town he sees probably those 5 people or 5 others.
I'm sure there's people who don't like one another, but we just leave each other alone.
Yeah,
for the
you
most
just
part.
give each other space or whatever. Yeah. And like school was the same way. You might not hang out with them, but you knew who they were, and you didn't trespass over their feelings too much.
It's not respect. I don't think it's respect.
It's kind of like acknowledgement.
It's just common courtesy. I don't even.
Live and let live.
Yeah, I mean, now if they get in your face, you may say something.
Oh yeah.
But very few people in a small town get in your face.
Yeah, because they know they're going to see you and your mama's people and their daddy's folks and everybody else. And, you don't want to start anything. You don't want to start a feud or anything.
And you're not going to
disrespect.
Cause someone to change their opinion or mind about something, to believe the way you believe by being violent or aggressive or assertive. I'm not assertive, but you can talk to people. I like to talk to people with a different opinion.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I like to know, well, why you feel the way you feel,
or has somebody done something that we should apologize for, or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, we do plan on doing a reaction to that. That's stepping out of our normal comfort zone.
Yeah.
For our reaction videos, we usually just try to do funny things and stuff like that. But we think we're gonna do a reaction.
Stick our toe in that water.
Yeah. I've enjoyed the Angelina Jordan's music.
She's so cute.
And she seems like a very, very good girl.
Yeah, she's a teenager. But we were watching her was she 8 or 9?
I think she was 8.
And she sounded. My husband was listening to that. I was just playing it on my phone, and I said, "Do you know who that is?" And he says, "I don't know that lady." And I said, "She's a kid." He goes, "Really?"
What was the name of the song?
Fly Me to the Moon.
Yeah, Fly Me to the Moon. Angelina Jordan.
And I could not get that song out of my head. I dreamed it all night.
Really?
And I think, that is such a cool song.
Excuse me.
The song of that era, I think it was like 40s, 50s, somewhere in there, was just amazing.
I like old music.
I think we used to watch the old movies that, kind of like It's a Wonderful Life kind of era, and they always had such great music. When they would have like a lounge singer or something, they always had something that sounded neat. The music.
Yeah. Of course, I think of us as maybe not the same timing, but if you and I tried to do like a lounge singing thing, it'd be like Lucille Ball.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do a Lucille Ball. You remember when they did that deal where they wore formals and had the long cigarette things, and they had their hair fixed like?
Not really, but
and they leaned against the fireplace, but their skirts
Oh,
were
yes.
so tight
They're
they couldn't walk.
They were trying to impress their husbands.
Yes, that sounds like something
But we
would
did that
try.
long cigarette.
Yeah, we
thing
already did that
the,
with our
roaring 20s.
yeah,
Not
the flapper.
Flapper.
The
Yeah,
flapper video.
She asked me the other day if I wanted her to get us some mermaid costumes. I said, not for me. You can do it, and we'll do something like that. You know what I want to do?
Okay.
We've talked about doing this at the reunion. We're pretty silly. We get ideas, but we don't always follow through.
Mm-hmm.
I still think the Sonny and Cher thing.
Oh.
But I have decided.
Are you going to be Cher?
I'm going to be Cher and let you be Sonny. You know why? Because you're short. And I've got the nose. I've got the nose for Cher. So.
Oh my goodness.
I was watching.
I will have to get a wig.
I know. They have some. You're just going to have to look for them.
I bet I have them on my Vine thing.
That's what I was saying. If you have them, and they're not expensive.
Okay, I'll do that.
And we could do a pantomime.
Yeah.
Not pantomime.
I know how you behave.
Yeah. She cut him down all the time, and he did her too. I mean, they were just being.
They were perfect.
They were being silly.
I used to like to watch them. I'm surprised I got to because my folks were not.
I know.
And I even got to see a couple of episodes of Laughing.
I was going to say Laughing. It was pretty
risque for them.
Yes, and I mean.
Oh, my mom and I would watch Hee Haw, and we would be falling over laughing, not at Hee Haw, but at my dad.
Because he didn't.
He was 65, I think, about that time. And he had this look where he could look like he could, if looks could kill. Anyway, he'd do his lips real like that and sit like that and not a smile. And the guys were being kind of funny, but we would laugh and then we'd see him not laughing, and that made us just fall over, and we even fell out of the couch.
That does not surprise me. They do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
we did, and your mom.
Yes, we did,
and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder
we were
what
very demonstrative.
Maynard thought of that.
Probably not.
He's the most.
I don't know if even Jim would have been.
Right. They're such.
My brother's names are Maynard and Jim. Maynard is 90, and my brother is Jim is 80.
The entire family has always looked up to them, and to my grandpa especially.
But they don't really look up to me. They're just kind of like.
You're like.
What? What's she doing there?
You're a lot younger than Jim. I mean, you're younger than Jim, but you're a lot younger than me.
Yeah. He was in his 20s when I was born, and Jim was a teenager somewhere.
So there's a lot of different. I'm sure I know they think of you as a little sister, but it's also kind of like a niece.
Yeah. But like even my brother's daughter is so much more mature than me.
No.
You don't think that Nana is?
Oh, Nana.
Yeah.
Nana's more mature than everybody. That's not true. I love
she is Nana. Quiet. She's like what I want to be.
She's probably silly in the right
circle.
Just like I'm telling you, you wouldn't think everybody
quiet.
thinks I'm pretty
boisterous.
Boring.
Oh,
boring.
Well, on the videos, you're boisterous.
Okay.
There was a word I used.
I feel like she's the comedian and I'm the straight man.
Terry and I got this changing subject.
Oh, really? You're going to change that?
Terry and I got in this semi-argument over a word. I said, "Yeah, it makes you want to doff your hat." And he goes, "What? Have you heard doff?"
No.
You have not heard doff?
No.
means take off your hat. I mean, pop it off, just take it off.
I've never heard.
Or like,
I have never. I was 66 years old when I learned this.
It's like when guys take their hat off out of respect.
Okay.
They're doffing their hat or their cap.
So you had an argument over this.
I said, there is a word, doff. And he goes, I don't believe you. And I said, get your phone. And he got it. And he goes, to doff. You doff your cap out of respect.
He is funny.
He argues with fence posts. That's that man.
I was over there a week or so ago.
Yeah, a week ago.
And
on Sunday a week ago.
He was messing with the flowers around their waterfall. And Auntie here was telling him something now. I don't even remember what it was, but he rolled his eyes. And she said something about him rolling in his eyes. He says, oh, I didn't think you saw that. I said, I saw that. I said, you do that a lot. He says, oh, you do? I thought I was coy, more coy than that.
He was coy.
No,
if my husband is anything, he is not coy.
He's so sweet.
He is sweet, but he is like, he's a German guy, and he's like black and white. There's no middle, and there's no nuance. It's like right, wrong.
But he's an old country. Oh, I don't mean old. I said old country boy.
Country boy, and there's no
he's southern
or buts. It's this way or that way. He can't be like in the middle.
But he talks slow.
Yes.
And
he doesn't realize it.
He does talk slow.
And if you tell him he talks slow, he'll go, I don't. He'll be trying to talk faster and he gets all tangled up.
But the way she describes it almost makes him sound stiff and everything's this way and everything's that way. And no, he may be that way with everything's this way and everything's that way. But he's
easy going about it.
Yes.
He's easy going about it, but he doesn't do one. I mean, it's either one or the other. It's not like,
I did not know till last year, maybe, or 2 years ago, I don't know, that he likes to debate. I did not know that. And then he said that he wanted to be an attorney. I'm like, really? I had no
idea. When he was a kid, he loved Perry Mason, and that's what he was going to be, except for they were too poor to send him to college.
But it's just, you would never think this of him.
No, if he finds... Okay, I don't want to offend anybody, but he looked up flat earthers just so he could have somebody
to argue with.
To argue with. He's already arguing with everybody else.
He wants to do a coffee time about it, but we haven't got together with him yet for that.
He's like, he likes seeing all the sides of it, but he likes to argue. He likes to not to put people down, but just to have debate.
Yeah, he likes to debate. And that's what it is, one side against the other. Yeah. So, but he
said something the other day. He contacts this one guy on the flat earth deal, and he goes, okay, so the earth is circled around by this big wall of ice. Well, what if you hit that wall of ice? Do you climb over it, and then what happens? I said, did he answer? And he goes, no.
Well, I am not a flat earther. If you are, that's okay.
That's fine,
you can believe what you want to believe. But I'm not a flat earther.
Well, Terry will say enough about it, and he'll tease. And some people think he is.
Oh. Well,
that's so he can bring them in to argue with him.
Well, that's what a good debater does. He can't go one way, he'll go the other way. So yeah. If you can debate.
And I don't like debating. I don't like arguing. And I married a guy that loves it.
Opposites attract.
Yeah, I guess that's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
We used to have such bad arguments because I didn't want to argue.
Let's see.
Isn't that bad?
My husband won't argue much
Mm.
at all.
He just like this way and
No, it's over.
it's over.
No, I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the thing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to discuss this.
Well, that's kind of like my dad. He wouldn't argue. You just knew where he stood, and if he didn't like what you said, he'd just walk away.
I just want to have a discussion. Let's discuss it. Okay. Anyway.
Anyway.
Now what?
Now what? Oh, habanero really sticks out on this.
We come full circle.
It did.
That must mean we're just about out of things to talk about.
Must be. What is this? This is so
I
cute.
have a granddaughter that's going to have a baby, and I am making a baby blanket, but it's blue.
Oh.
My husband picked out the color. I wanted to do a certain thing, but he picked out the color. So
Now, is this a crochet or knitting?
it's crochet.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I don't knit. I crochet.
See, I used to knit, and I think I forgot how.
I have tried to knit, but I'm not a knitter. I think you can crochet though, can't you?
Not very good.
Oh,
I mean, I have, but
probably like me and my knitting.
I just kind of a lot of that stuff I haven't done it so long I've forgotten a lot.
Maybe I'll show you. Sorry, hang on a second. Okay. You can talk to them while I go get this.
So, how have you been? She's going to get something right now. Oh, that's pretty. Ooh.
This is the blue
Oh, that's what he chose. How pretty.
that he chose, and it's
Ooh. That's a pretty
there. It's
stitch.
I can't say the word. I call it popcorn, but it's not popcorn. But
That is
isn't that
pretty.
pretty?
That is
Yeah.
gorgeous. That will be warm.
Going to take me a little bit to get it done. We're having.
It's called Chunky Baby Blanket.
Yeah, that was a free pattern off of. Well, I just searched free patterns, and it was a free pattern, and I really like it because, for one thing, it's my goodness, it squares so good.
Oh.
You know, sometimes.
Oh, some of
If they're
mine,
not real great,
a lot of mine go like, oh.
But this one is wonderful, and it's easy to tell because all the little
Oh, it has
designs
ridges, yeah.
are in line, and if they get, I've had one or two get off, so I ripped it out and
Looks like
redid
they
it.
have good directions. Too.
Yes, good directions. But anyway, that baby is due in September 21st. His name's gonna be Kai. It's a little boy. K-I. And we're having a baby shower for him here in 20 days. So I have a lot to do before that 20 days gets here.
I thought it was on the 20th,
Yes.
but this isn't the first.
Okay, so I have 25 days.
I
26
had you
days.
mixed up because I thought it was the first day and you told me no.
Yeah, I did. She told me a while ago, she says, it's not the 25th. I said, yeah. She says, no, it's the first. I said, no, it's not. She said, but I already tore my calendar page.
I think we ought to change the date because I mean the whole world needs to move according to my marching orders, don't you think?
No. Did I?
Okay.
Did you think I was going to say yes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kind of thought you might.
Did I know I told you that I am on the carnivore again.
Yay.
Today is day 7. It's been a week.
Wow.
And I've been good. Very good. This time my husband's doing it with me. He's been
As good as possible.
not as good as me, but pretty good. I mean, I didn't think he'd do it at all.
Oh, yeah.
So I was shocked.
That's a big move.
For him, yes,
Yeah.
it's huge.
I was surprised that Terry did. Now, he's not being very good right now. I mean, he's gone to Sonic. with our son and family because, of course you have to do that. I got a Sonic burger, but I took everything off but the meat, which was about killed me.
It's real hard to do that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But you've been so disciplined.
Yeah, I do because if I get off very much at all, I am in pain. So
But the pain's basically gone.
yeah, that pain is. There's other stuff that's trying to creep in, and I'm just having fits. So I'm trying to be really good. So anyway, he bought a great big sack of potatoes. We were just going to be at the place where we cooked a dinner one day, and he bought 20 pounds of great big potatoes.
20 pounds.
Yes, so now he has baked potatoes forever, and you know how good baked potatoes smell when you don't have any.
Can them.
Oh, he won't let me. He wants to eat. I said, okay, just eat. But he doesn't gain. He lost weight eating like a pig at the camping trip. You know what? I thought trailer camping would be so much not work compared to tent camping, and it is a lot better. You don't have to take everything out of boxes all the time, but it's still a lot of work I mean, we only went 30 miles away.
You go
We're
camping
gone
in
2 days, and it was like a workhouse because it was mostly packing stuff back and forth.
back and forth from what?
The trailer. We packed up one day and then stayed a night and a half, and then the next day brought it all back. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, if you're taking stuff that you don't normally store in your camper.
Yeah, like all the food.
Yeah.
And then the kayaks.
I feel like you're still having to do housekeeping.
Yeah. Man, I was cooking hamburgers forever. There was only room for me in my kitchen in there.
Right.
So I was cooking hamburgers for like 7 or whatever.
Should have cooked them outside, but then you would have to take more stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to me, tent camping was a lot of work, though.
It's a lot more.
A lot.
And you're not a good bed.
Well, we got where we had to have all the conveniences of home. If we went camping, we had
you
to
had
take
a
it.
good camping setup. You had all kinds of nice things.
But we'd take it a pickup, and the back of the pickup would be heaped up.
You had all your light stations. I was impressed when we went tent camping together all those years
I
ago.
kind of miss it, but I don't miss the work.
No.
If somebody could set it up and we just walk away.
Yeah, kind of like glamping.
Well, isn't that kind of what we do?
Well, I mean, glamping, you go and it's all set up for you.
Oh,
and
really?
then you just leave it behind.
I didn't know that.
They have these places all set up.
I didn't know that. I thought you just had those fancy campers. Not fancy, the old-time campers that were all glamorous now. And that's what I thought it
Well,
was.
I saw one TV show where they had like the foundation of a log cabin up so far and then a tent above and stuff.
And they call that glamping.
Mm-hmm.
Are the people that go camping in yurts, is that glamping?
That would be fun.
There's some pretty neat
Mine
yurts.
yurts.
Have you seen the yurts? Some of them are so fancy.
And then they have those in Africa.
We should go camping, not camping. We should go stay in some of those ice hotels.
Ice hotel. I might get cold, but I like it. I'm up for anything. Let's go.
You said that Mikey and his family went camping not camping. They stayed in a cabin.
At the YMCA campground, Estes Park, Colorado. Did I tell you the whole story about that?
You told me what you knew at the time. You said Terry didn't tell you everything.
Oh, Mikey, or I don't know. Anyway, they were telling me that it was so fun. It was before Aaron came to live with them. So it was like a month before. So they had their teenage daughter and their preteen son, and there were all these kids there, and they were playing Foursquare, which I didn't know what that was, but it's kind of like a outdoor game where you, I don't know, you throw things and you run, and it's kid stuff. Anyway, and they had I think a swimming pool and a bunch of other activities. Well, they had a things that you could ask to do, and they wanted to learn how to be survivors. Did I tell you this part?
Yes.
Okay. Got there, and they're sitting in this building, and it's raining cats and dogs. And they're thinking, shoot, we picked a bad thing to do today. It's raining cats and dogs out there, and we're going to have to go out and learn how to survive, you know. So they're sitting there, and they're waiting a little while, and they're wondering where their guide is coming from. How come he's not coming? And all of a sudden, this CNI dog comes through with his owner, and the blind guy goes, "I'm your guide," and they're like, "Oh, okay," you know, and they're kind of wondering how. Anyway, so they're going through these worksheets and everything about different survival things and all this, and they're the kids are like looking at their mom and dad and going, and the mom and dad, my son and his wife, they get tickled pretty easy. I don't know where they get that, but anyway, they were trying to be respectful. So anyway, he takes them out, and he's being blind and everything, and he's going. But he's showing them the different trees and what they are, you know, just by touching them and all this stuff, and they're trying to hold it all together. And then he starts talking about going on a hunting trip every year, and my son is trying to figure
How
out
do you
how
hunt?
do you hunt an animal down, and how do you shoot it? How do you know what you're killing? He's like, he said he didn't want to be disrespectful, but he had to ask. He goes, "How do you hunt when you're blind?" He goes, "Oh, I have a guy with me, and he tracks him down, and I follow him, and then he sights it in, and then he has me just come over and pull the trigger." And so Mikey's going like this, and they get back to their cabin, and Mikey, I mean, they're not talking. They get back into the cabin, and he goes, "Carrie, I don't care what you say, that ain't hunting."
It is neat that they can do that. But
That's not hunting. That's just pulling a trigger, you know. But anyway, you feel like you're doing something. But anyway, that would be kind of. He said the cabins weren't very expensive and stuff. And they weren't like a member of that YMCA or anything. But I suppose it's for general public.
well, that's really interesting that
It's available there.
that's available, and it's interesting they have a blind guide. That's it's nice to know that they have that type of training for people who are blind.
Yes.
That they can do things that the rest of us could do. I mean,
Mikey is a preacher, and he said all he did there was that scripture about blind guides, and he would try to settle down, and then it just come back in his mind. He'd think, "Okay, okay, Lord, don't let me think about that anymore." But I mean, he liked the guy, and I think the guy liked them okay. And the guy just laughed when he said, "I just don't understand how you hunt."
it probably made him more comfortable that he talked to him about it. Like
Yeah, probably.
that's a funny story. So now you know you could go to Estes Park and rent a YMCA cabin.
I don't know
And
if
get a guide.
I don't know if they have like spots for campers or not. I didn't ask Mikey that.
I heard the other day, I did not know that you could take tours of that hotel there at Estes Park. You know, it's where The Shining was filmed.
Oh, really?
Yes, that big, big hotel.
I never saw The Shining because I'm scared of scary movies.
I don't really watch scary movies now, but when I was young,
Oh.
I watched that one, and I
Was
never
that-
liked Jack Nicholson after that.
Okay, now was that done in the 70s?
I would think so because I mean I remember it as an adult,
Okay.
but I didn't like Jack Nicholson from then on.
Is he had that flashlight up his face and said something weird?
Here's Johnny.
Okay.
And the red rum, the little girl or the little boy, I can't remember which one. They read the word red rum, but it's actually murder backwards. It's written in, I think it's written in blood
Oh.
at the end of the, I don't know.
Oh.
It's a long, but I remember red rum and here's
I
Johnny.
guess I'm gonna have to. I'm probably mature enough now to watch it.
Maybe
Well,
not.
mature may not be the word.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe old enough that I know that I can turn it off if I get too scared. I'm not real good at scary movies.
I'm not afraid of like sci-fi scary movies. I think that they're just not for me. Like aliens and stuff like that's just no. However, when I was a little bitty kid, my aunt and uncle on my dad's side, Connie and Larry, took me to a drive-in movie, and I remember it was about these swamp monsters coming out of the lake. And I was always so scared
You
of
make
it.
my heart sing.
I was always scared. But now I see somebody watch a movie and I think, that's so stupid.
I think the first scary movie I remember seeing it was a guy that looked kind of like Mr. Clean, only he just had one eye. And it was like a caveman and cavewoman saw it or something. I don't know what it was.
Did you like Lost in Space?
Not really.
They were stupid.
My mom, dad just,
They didn't watch that kind of stuff? Really?
I did have.
Twilight Zone?
I think we saw the Twilight Zone.
Why would they let you watch Twilight Zone and not?
Well, that was past my bedtime. But they would say,
Oh.
time to go to bed, man. It's the Twilight Zone. I'm going to go. But I had a dream that Mr. Clean was sitting in my mama's rocking chair, a swivel rocker. And, his in his white clothes and all that stuff. And I walked up to him and I said, "Hi, Mr. Clean." And he says, "I'm not Mr. Clean. I'm Jesus." And I'm like, "No, you're not. You don't look a thing like Jesus." And I woke up and I was scared of Mr. Clean ever since.
How funny.
But you know who makes me think of Mr. Clean now?
Who?
Is that guy that remodels houses, that Holmes makes it right. He's from
I've never seen
he's
it.
from
So I don't know.
Canada. Him and his kids remodel houses. I
Okay.
forgot what his name is. Something Holmes.
Mr. Clean, though.
But he looks like Mr. Clean.
Some people may not. I think most of our viewers are old enough to know who we're talking about.
Mr. Clean.
So,
Yes.
well, I think we should do some other things. This has been an hour.
It did bother me that Mr. Clean had an earring in his ear.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Before it's a thing.
Yeah. That bothered me as a kid. Anyway,
We're kind of old fashioned. So
I'm old.
So now
I'm not in fashion either.
If you have had the patience to listen to us this whole time, I admire you.
I'll try to be nicer next time.
I don't know
I
about that.
haven't been a very nice person this time. I'm very sorry. Apologies.
Quit apologizing. Or just ourselves.
I'm dead. She killed me.
I love her. I really do.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.